What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, and today I thought I'd go over another new archetype that was or not new, it's just like Gizmek. It's kind of like that whole archetype is now getting actual support instead of just being kind of like hand traps or like going second cards. A lot of them do a lot of really different things, so it's kind of interesting that they've given it support. And there's also something to do with sushi, so that in and of itself is interesting to me. So I think a Fire Kraken, which I'm guessing is down here, is the first Fire Aqua type, which is kind of interesting. So let's go through and see if the new Gizmek support's any good. This is a Wind Machine effect, level 1, 50/50, so clearly this is a machine duplication target. We'll see if it's even worth playing, though. It seems like it is when you do that, but if this is the only target for machine duplication and it's not good, it's probably not worth playing. You can only use this card's second effect once per turn. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon one machine monster from your hand, whose attack equals its own defense. And yes, I checked before the video, all the original Gizmek cards have that requirement, so it's a good way to cheat those out, I guess, if you can't already. That doesn't really seem to be the problem in Gizmek, so it's not really starting off on the greatest foot. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one machine monster you control, whose attack equals its own defense for the rest of its turn. You cannot declare attacks except with that monster. Also, its attack and defense become the original attack of all machine monsters you currently control, whose attack equals their own defense. It's just a buff. I don't know. I don't really like this card that much. I hope I'm not the only person who feels that way. I'm going to say you're not going to use that on face value, even with the idea of machine duplication, because I don't think any of these other ones meet the requirement. Because it has to be 500 or less attack. This is a Gizmek Naganaki, so these are all different attributes too, which is kind of interesting. You can only use this card's first and second effect once per turn. You contribute one machine monster whose attack equals its own defense. Special summon one machine monster from your deck whose attack equals its own defense, but with a lower level than the tributed monster. Huh. I'd have to look what all the other ones are, but special summoning from the deck. And it can attribute itself or attribute something else. It's actually quite versatile. Very cool. That is good. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Add one of your face-down banished machine monsters whose attack equals its own defense to your hand. So Pot of Desires is going to be popping in this deck, man. This is good. This is a great card. I don't know if it's great, but it's really good. Certainly going to be a 3-of in the deck. This is Gizmek Tanagukyu. This is an Earth Machine effect, 1450, 1450. You can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can place one machine monster from your deck whose attack equals its own defense on the top of your deck. Shout out to Egyptian Gods, another card that puts something on the top of the deck. There's now been 2 new cards that do that. Not that that matters for anything, but in the back of my mind, whenever I see top of your deck, I think of Egyptian Gods. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one machine monster in your graveyard whose attack gets its own defense, special summon it in defense position. Ooh, that's really good too. So these are 2 good cards in a row. I'm liking where this is going for sure. This is Gizmek Ibuki. This is a Water Machine effect monster, 1850, 1850. Pretty good stats for a level 4, right, that you can normal summon. If you control a machine monster whose attack equals its own defense, you can special summon this card from your hand. Sweet. You can banish this card from your graveyard, and it's a level 4 too, which is awesome. Level 4 water too, which is even better. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one machine monster you control whose attack equals its own defense. Send one machine monster whose attack equals its own defense. Wait, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one machine monster you control whose attack equals its own defense. Send one machine monster with the same attributes, but with a lower level than that targeted from your deck to your graveyard. And if you do, that target gains attack and defense equal to the sent monster's level times 100. It seems like a lot of attack manipulation, but it is like surrounded with actual good effects. So I think the attack part is normally like secondary, at least for this card it is. This is more of a free special summon. Okay, this one's okay, not awesome, not compared to these last 2, but okay. A field spell, of course. During the main phase, you can Ooh, yes. Wow. During the main phase, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck And if you do, you can add one excavated machine monster whose attack equals its own defense to your hand. Also banish the rest face down. So it's kind of like the Sky Striker card, but a lot more harsh. Each time a machine monster whose attack equals its own defense is normal special summon, place 1 counter on this card. Monsters on the field whose attack does not equal its own defense cannot activate their effects while this card has 10 or more counters. Whoo! Load. That's going to be difficult to do. I don't know how good that is. Activating cards is good. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the only thing that the Sky Striker field spell does. So, sure. I mean, I don't know if you'll ever be able to do that in 1 turn. Most likely not. But, alright, maybe after 2 or 3 turns, if this thing is still on the field. I mean, I guess the idea is that it's an imminent threat and your opponent has to deal with it. This is a normal monster. I think this is that Fire Aqua. Yeah. I gotta read this because the rest of these cards are like sushi. I don't know if any of these have anything to do with each other for the rest of this, but they are lumped together in Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization. In a certain sushi port in which you've been interested for a while, there's a rice sushi ship which only has 2,000 vessels a year are produced with a self-developed old rice that is not too sticky with a profound taste that cannot be enjoyed in other ports, of which many critics have heavily acclaimed. The interior of the harbor is of high status, making one heart beat with excitement. As for the sought-after sushi ship, despite the vinegar concentration, grasping technique, and modeling worthy of a craftsman, there is still something that wasn't quite right, wasn't quite there. Thus, the store owner speaks. A red vinegar made of EDO front that will add a mellow and rich fragrance will be arriving to the port in the upcoming days. And from hearing that, I'm looking forward to this edition. It is unfortunate that the surrounding sea area was somewhat noisy. It is with great expectation of a future visit that I'm grading it with 4 stars. This is like a review. 2,000 vanilla monster. This could be used with that archetype that I was just going over yesterday, the Magic Key. This is a normal with fire, although I don't, your opponent will probably never have fire. I don't know. That's just insane. What else do we have here? What's going on? Okay. This is Row Sushi Ship. A level 4. 200 attack, 300 defense. This must have a good effect. You can only special summon this card of this card's name once. First effect once per turn. You can only use this card's second effect once per turn. If you control a rice sushi ship, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay. Very nice. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, add to your hand or special summon 1 excavated rice sushi ship. Also, shuffle the rest back into the deck. Okay, that's really weird. Alright, well, this is kind of like that, there's a water monster that was just in the Ice Barrier structure deck that I can't think of the name now, that essentially does the same thing, but it's less restrictive. That's not great. It really isn't. Here is the 2 level 4 monsters. It's generic. You can only use this card's first effect once per turn. If this card is XYZ summon, you can apply these effects based on the monsters used as material. Rice Sushi Ship, draw 1 card. Roast Sushi Ship, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. Once per turn. When your sushi ship, is that what it's called? Okay. Monster special summon from the extra deck inflicts battle damage to your opponent. You can target 1 card they control, destroy it. Does this thing even have like detached? Oh, based on the okay, interesting. That's like a really interesting take on XYZ summoning. I mean, I know this is not new, but like this doesn't actually have detach effects. It's more of like if you have this as material. When a sushi ship monster special summon from the extra deck inflicts, is there more special? Okay, well I'm gonna guess there's gonna be more extra deck coming. That's just okay. It's only 2,200 attack. It's nothing special, but okay. Here's the field spell, because everyone needs a field spell. Once per turn, if you normal summon or special summon a sushi ship monster, even during the damage step, you can place 1 sushi ship card from your deck on the top of your deck. Again, new cards for Egyptian God support. Once per turn, if your sushi ship monster is special summoned from the extra deck is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, your opponent must pay life points equal to its defense. Then you can special summon 1 rice sushi ship from your hand, and if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon 1 sushi ship XYZ monster using only that monster as material. Interesting. Okay, so they have to pay 300 life points. Really? They have to pay 300 life points. Why is that even on there? For time? Oh, that's... That's awful. Oh, well, you can XYZ summon using only one card. So, you get to draw one card, and they pay 300 life points. Amazing. I guess. Sure. This is hilarious. It says, Suship Roll Special, Normal Trap. You can only activate... When you activate this card, you can reveal one Suship in your hand. You can also... Okay. Reveal 3 Suship monsters from your deck. Your opponent picks one for you to add to your hand. Also shuffle the rest back into the deck. If you revealed a Rice Suship, when you activated this card, you can choose instead the second effect. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, then target 3 Suship monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. Reveal 3, you add once to your hand, shuffle the rest. If you reveal, you can act. When you activate this card, you can choose instead. Oh, okay, so you can add the one that you want. This should be like a spell. Why is this a trap card? This is not that good. This is just a search. This archetype stinks, man. It stinks. But for the Gizmek stuff, some good support for sure. I don't know why these were lumped together. I didn't really expect that, to be honest with you. But hey, what are you going to do? But let me know what you guys think about these new the new Sushi Archetype and the new Gizmek support. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video. And I hope you have an absolutely wonderful night.